The people of Israel, yes, they ended up in exile. They had to deal with the consequences of not having good answers to those 7 questions. But God still made a way. In fact, arguably, the whole point of what God was letting happen there was that by letting the people of Israel experience the exile, he was being, in fact, compassionate and merciful. Think about that for a minute. Had to deal with the consequences of their own actions so that they could actually learn from their mistakes and be better for it. Now, we oftentimes here pray for awakenings. And I want to make sure that we all understand that awakening of faith is not something that starts at the top, but it starts at the bottom. It starts in the home. It starts in how we as individuals choose to live our lives. Jesus did not transform the world by influencing Caesar, by running for governor, or by trying to get a seat on the Jewish High Council. No, he started with fishermen, tax collectors, and tent makers. And he worked from there to share the message of God's love, ignoring institutions beyond that and working independent of them. And what he was trying to get everybody to do was to make sure that they knew that they could walk around with a map in hand, something that would help them know where to go and that they should be reading it and referring to it frequently. And of course, that map is this one that we have in hand, that we can be referring to, reading, checking out, always making sure we kind of have a basic idea of where we are, and it will help us so that we don't end up within a couple of miles of a fire. That's the prayer for us. But there is a painful truth, and that is that we will, of course, make mistakes. And with those mistakes, we will have consequences. And as we experience those consequences, we get to remember that while they seem like a punishment at the time, they are also an opportunity to learn from our mistakes, an opportunity to grow in our faith, an opportunity to be restored by God's grace. So, maybe in your life you have experienced exile. Maybe you are experiencing exile right now, or maybe you feel that God has pulled you from an exile. I like the way Pastor Carol said it a few months ago. You're either in a storm, you just came out of the storm, or you're heading into one. All of us have to deal with the consequences sometimes of our own actions. And as terrifying as it may be, despite the best efforts, sometimes circumstances around us are what lead us into those exiles. But the promise of God is that he came for those who are in exile. Jesus himself said, "For the Son of Man came to seek and save those who are lost." So if you're hiking the wrong way on a trail right now, and maybe come to realize that you've been hiking the wrong way on a trail, fix your eyes back on God. Jesus is here for us, to bring us back together, to unite us, and to change the world.